All right, guys, we are live. New setup tonight. I'm in my office, and kind of looks like a little bit of version or a little version of Between Two Ferns with plants behind me. And we're going to do this tonight as I'm solo, no guest, nobody, but we're going to talk some recruiting. LSU football practice underway, transfer portal, LSU offers in the portal, and a big commitment tomorrow at noon. Cornerback JV and Toviano. And so there you go. We're going to get to as many of your questions as we can. And of course, this show is brought to you each and every week by Pride Roofing. And of course, call them at 855-PRIDE-16, and they will pay for you to have TigerBait free for a year, TigerBait Premium free for a year with your free roof inspection. We'll talk a little bit more about Mike and Alex and the great company that is Pride Roofing a little bit later in the show. But I think we're going to have a pretty good crowd in here tonight now that football's underway. And if you guys don't mind, if you're keeping tabs on the LSU women's basketball game, drop me a score update here and there if you can. So, all right, guys, let's get to some of these. Al Basila says, let's get it started. Welcome in, Al. Richard Sinet, let's go. Daniel Rummel, hey, Mike, I heard that Womack and Hurd received fifth star today. Absolutely. And I think that's well-deserved. I think there's some other guys that I think could get higher ratings across multiple networks. I look at a guy like Kyle Parker that's out there and a few others that I think are underrated. I think Dylan Carpenter is a guy that deserves a higher rating. I gave him a 4th star on TigerBait, and I still need to tweak my our own TigerBait rankings a little bit as well. Palermo Trapani, Mike, can you do a mini War Room tribute to the old days from TigerBait? Yeah, I need to do that, Palermo. It's that was always a fun staple of TigerBait, and but things move so fast. A lot of it's just rehash. But the thing about War Rooms, particularly the days when I did them once a week and sometimes twice a week, I would sit down and think I had absolutely nothing. And I would end up with, 1,000 or 1,500 words, and I had more than I thought I had. But a lot of people like to see it, even if it's rehashed. So I think I will do that. People are saying that Harris is a Tiger. Okay. Dane Bergeron, hi, Mike. Glad to have you with us, Dane. Vaughn Bluesman, hello, TigerBait hosts and fans. Go Tigers, beat Purdue. Eric DeLion, video is great also. Awesome, man. I got some different equipment in here, and it's a unique webcam I'm actually using. You never thought you'd see a webcam that looked that good, did you? Faye Schubert, is there a concern of the number of Tigers entering the portal? I don't think so, Faye. I think the guys that are there are kind of guys that you'd expect to be there. A lot of these football players that you're seeing just didn't see the field much, and they have a pretty darn good idea of what's redshirted and what's coming up in this recruiting class, and more with the portal possibly. Adam Ahmed, hey Mike, how are you feeling about Desmond Ricks? Feels like that's going to the wire. I like where LSU's at with him. I don't know that I would put anybody ahead of Ricks right now, but until he does it, we won't know for sure. But I've kind of had him in the prediction category, either a 7 or a 6 or a 7 to LSU for weeks now. Phillips Clinton, let's go. Alley Boy, anything on Denver Harris? I talked to a Texas A&M guy tonight, and Brian Kelly obviously and the staff are going to do their due diligence on him and investigate what were problems at Texas A&M, what history is there, what can be fixed. Is he going to be an issue at LSU? Some of the things that were the problem at Texas A&M can be a bigger problem at LSU, if you get my drift. Guys that had missed games in previous years, and so I don't know if that's how that's going to play out, but there is no denying that he is a heck of a talent. And like a lot of corners, he's very assured of himself. And but we'll see. Look, without Denver Harris, I think this LSU defensive back haul, and I'd have to go around and look at what other schools have coming in. What, just on paper, particularly with Toviano, which we have as a prediction for LSU tomorrow, whose cornerback class or defensive back would you trade for LSU's? And that's not even including, Ricks and Isaac Smith that could go down. This is a fantastic recruiting class as far as the cornerback and safety haul. So I don't see anybody in the country having a better one than LSU. All right. Any word on Aaron Anderson? I think there's some movement there, Ray. I want to get some more information. Aaron Anderson was a kid that was very quiet in the recruiting process as a high school player. I think he's even more so now. You can just look at his Twitter page. He has never been a guy that's been active on social media. And I think everything that's being done with him is going to be on the down low. And honestly, I think that's going to be the case with most of your transfer portal kids. They've all run the gamut with the attention they get from guys like me and all the networks as high school freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and it's old news, and they're just looking for the right place once they hit the portal to land. I think it's going to be real interesting. Are there going to be some kids who actually decide on a school, and could there be a few that make a decision and they've never even been on that particular school's campus? We've seen that before. I also have noticed, with the whole thought process on tampering and how that's just going to be so difficult to police. Talking to some people, you can kind of see what college coaches are doing. They're following kids that have had breakout years at other Power 5 schools that aren't necessarily ever conference champion contenders or playoff contenders or major bowl contenders. And in some ways almost signaling like, hey, we're interested, just by the follows that you're seeing on kids in the Midwest being followed by kids in the South that really there's no relationship with. Very, very interesting. Jeremy Franks. And by the way, back on Aaron Anderson real quick before I get to Jeremy Franks. You guys know, if you've watched this show for any length of time, what I think of Aaron Anderson. I thought he was special. And obviously he was a part of that class with Shaz Preston and Kendrick Law last year. All three of them ended up at Alabama. Some think that Law might be the breakout guy. There was even a rumor that maybe Shaz might be a transfer portal kid. I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case. But Aaron Anderson's there. And I would not rule out LSU. And he also fits the profile of a Brian Kelly transfer portal kid, that he's a Louisiana prospect, a kid wanting to come home. Jeremy Franks, LSU fan here, saying rest in peace, Mike Leach. He's going to be missed. Absolutely. I went down a Mike Leach rabbit hole last night, like a lot of people did throughout the day, and seeing all the different tributes to him that everybody's done. I thought Lane Kiffin's was really well done. Brian Kelly had a nice tribute. A lot of great video out there. In fact, the videos that we've had some Mike Leach video on our TigerBait YouTube channel. All, either the Monday press conferences of game week with LSU or the post game with LSU. And all of those videos were resurrected and down the line from our YouTube channel, and all are now all the most watched videos on our YouTube channel in the last 24 hours. It's been amazing. Von Bluesman, Ohio has their top two running backs out of the bowl game. A lot of people want to know who's going to opt out, who's playing, what's Jaquel and Roy going to do, is Ojulari going to play, on and on. We get Brian Kelly midday on Saturday, and I'm assuming he's going to give us a pretty good, 15 or 20 minutes. And I think those are going to be some of the first questions. Who's actually out there practicing? What's the health of the team? I think that's going to be a very revealing presser on Saturday, and he's no doubt going to get some recruiting questions. And, of course, not only is he going to be meeting with us, and he's got practice, but he's also hosting recruits. So it's going to be an opportunity for him with the recruits on hand, particularly the two uncommitted defensive backs, Isaac Smith and Desmond Ricks, being there on hand to see a practice underway while they're on an official visit with their families. That's a really nice opportunity that they've got there. Jamie Bray, last year we were all up on Aaron Anderson. Does he finally make it back to LSU? I'm hearing good things, Jamie, but we'll see how it pans out. And don't forget, he is a phenomenal return man. If you watched any of his tape, in fact, we filmed him several times last year, and I think he had one punt return or a kickoff return in one of the games that I filmed. Phillips Clinton, where does 247 have Hurd and Womack 4 or 5 stars? They are 5 stars. Those guys both moved up there. Blaine Smith, good evening, Mike. Any portal additions coming soon? I don't know. Could there be somebody that does it before signing day? A lot of the college coaches want the portal additions to happen after signing day. I think a lot of them might get a wink and a nod. Yeah, I'm coming, coach. All right, let's just not release it until, after the 21st, 22nd. Let's do it after that. I think you're going to have a little bit of that. That's it. That's for the kids that know where they're going and have the offer, and they've had the conversation. 247 ranks LSU commits low. I'd have to go line by line and see. Sometimes you're really splitting hairs if a kid is a 110th ranked 4-star versus a 68th ranked 4-star. And I've always said, look, if you are in the top, right in the middle of the top 10, the difference between even the number 1 ranked recruiting class in the country and the 4th or 5th best recruiting class, and especially with Louisiana kids, where I think particularly the athlete position has been undervalued for too long. We'll see. Dane Bergeron, Mike, video and audio, great. Thanks, Dane. Thank you. Larry Francis, what's up, peeps? Glad to have you with us, Larry. You guys, if y'all enjoying the show, hit that like button. Please do that for me. And share the show to your Facebook feed. Share it to your Twitter feed. Text the link out to your LSU buddies on your cell phone. Spread the word. Very much appreciative. And I've got someone tomorrow who will be covering the Toviano announcement. It's going to be on Instagram Live, but we're going to have someone there, and we're going to have a lot of stuff to go along with his commitment announcement. So stay tuned to TigerBait, and we'll be dropping some tidbits on the message board. Daniel Rowan, Mike, do you think we have a shot at the tight end from Vandy? I do, but it sure seems like that kid is holding his cards close to the vest. It's such a neat position for LSU. We'll see how that plays out. Obviously, getting McGowan yesterday was huge. That's a kid right there that I think's underrated that should have a better tape. But yeah. Eric DeLine, any opt-outs we know of yet for the bowl game? No, not yet. Not yet. I think we're going to give it a little bit of a rundown that from Brian Kelly Saturday. We'll see. Kenny Mack, 409, do you think we get Toviano and Denver? It affects our chances with Ricks. Oh, if. We know Austin is on his way out. That's a good question. And is that another deal where you get Denver to wait? Brian Kelly and his staff obviously have a lot to juggle here and how they play it. But look, you want to be on the up and up with all the kids, really. Palermo Petrani, Colorado, therefore, might be where he winds up. It's going to be very it's going to be a bit of fun watching what Deion Sanders is able to draw at a Boulder. Yeah, he's got the job now, but I had a friend who was in Colorado snow skiing last weekend, and flights were delayed. Let's see how well he recruits kids from the areas where he would like to recruit. How well he's able to convince them to come to Colorado. It's beautiful in July, but not many kids from South Florida or Louisiana or Mississippi take too well to the cold for any length of time. Phillips Clinton, Brian Kelly met with the Harris family today. There you go. Dwayne Official, let's go. The GOAT is live. Mike Big Cojones Keller. Mike, when is the next media press conference with BK? That's noon, midday. I think it was 12:30. We got an alert. We'll get him after practice, Saturday's practice. I think problems here at LSU are legal in Colorado. Yeah. How does that work though in the football program? Just because it's legal in Colorado doesn't mean that you can do it in the program, right? Or am I wrong? There's an NCAA rule on that too. How do they handle that? I haven't even studied that. And then what do you do if that's the way it is over there, and you're getting secondhand smoke? You walk into the wrong room, and then all of a sudden you're going to get a positive test because of secondhand smoke. That could be scary as a football player. You walk into the wrong room at a party. Any word on? I'm told he's doing very well. In fact, I think Kelly was asked that a couple of weeks ago. He looks to be ahead of schedule. Von Bluesman asked Mike, "Do you think Georgia is the new Bama dynasty, or will Coach Kelly dethrone them?" I don't think Georgia is the new dynasty. Wait till everybody catches their bearings. Wait till Brian Kelly has another recruiting class or two. And we already see the distance he made up this year when he inherited 39 players. We'll see. Kevin Virtue, Merry Christmas, Mike. Any word on Mason's? Okay, I already got that. I'm sorry. I missed one. Larry Francis, Denver Harris will get right under BK because he's more like Harris's high school coach. All right. Aaron Anderson, a second chance. I think there's a possibility, James. Harrison and Perk 40 are best friends. How quickly is that LSU defensive? I said earlier, how quickly is that LSU defensive back room going to be on its way to being DBU quality again? I mean, it really could be overnight. Thanks, Big Cojones. 59-27. I know it was like, 15-12 or something real close after one quarter. Kim Mulkey's got them rolling. And what do we got? We're just a few weeks away from the SEC opener for LSU women's basketball. Palermo Trapani, Larry Francis, I hope so. It seems like a good kid. Tack Miner was well respected here at LSU. And I know his stepfather. I hope Harris comes here and gets aligned. Yeah, he's again. I talked to some folks at Texas A&M earlier today, and he's very much a likable kid, and so I think that those are things that he can get done, and I'm told that he has what he needs academically to effortlessly or with no issues make the transition. He's not going to be. There's no issues academically that he had gotten where he needed to be on that front at A&M before. Whenever he rolls in, he'll be fine. 59-27, third Angel Reese, and she puts up crazy numbers every week, Roger. Like, and subscribe. All right. Thanks, Big Cojones Kells. Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell, and you guys know the drill. And, of course, we're here each and every week because of Pride Roofing. And let's go ahead and hear from Mike and Alex.
Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Alex.
At Pride Roofing, we handle commercial and residential work.
TPO, shingle, and metal inventory.
We got it. Property still in disarray from the recent hurricanes and hailstorms. Insurance claims?
No problem. So you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Call 855-PRIDE-16. Se habla español.
That's Mike and Alex, of course, right there in Albany, Louisiana. They've got you covered, commercial or residential. Any roof issues you've got, and look, we had some storms earlier today, had tornadoes touching down in New Orleans. If you guys need any help, give them a call, 855-PRIDE-16. They'll get out and see you in a hurry. Any damage, any type of roof, again, commercial, residential, anywhere in South Louisiana, Mississippi, up to Jackson, Gulf Coast, and of course, all the way to Vinton, Louisiana, and all the way north to Alexandria. They've got somebody in every portion of South Louisiana ready to get out and see you in a hurry. And they'll work with your insurance company, and they'll match or beat any other prices if it's a bid situation. They will absolutely get down and sharpen their pencils, and they want to earn your business, and you'll be happy with them. All right, guys, let me get back and scroll into some. Von Bluesman, Mike, remember Kentucky lets players partake. We have had several transfer there. I don't know the legalities, but some have said any punishment is up to the individual school. Oh, it absolutely is. LSU for the longest time, and it's still there. But now I don't know if there's anything that's been changed much from Kelly, but I know Will Wade was pivotal in getting it so that the coaches could pick which of the 3 or 4 games a player could miss, rather than it just being 3 or 4 in a row. Yeah, men start on the 28th and women start on the 29th. There you go. Thanks, Hal. Hal's big on LSU basketball. 66-32 with a minute to go in the third. Yeah, Dwayne Fisher, I can see Perk 40 and Harris being friends. They both have that nasty in their play. You know, Denver Harris was a kid that probably should have ended up LSU to begin with. Did JD practice today, asked Trey Guy. He's not supposed to have practiced today unless he's way ahead of schedule. We were told a week to 10 days a week ago. But we're going to find out the specifics on that. Any word on JD coming back next year, Wayne? I think if you saw what we said last week, I've been saying for over a week that he's coming back. So is Nussmeier. And that's where the dilemma is at for Brian Kelly. It's a great problem he has, but he's also got to juggle, and him and Joe Sloan got to juggle quarterback reps, who gets the 2s, who gets some 1s. Walker Howard's itching. He wants to compete. And so that's we're going to see how that washes out in the spring, but it's a good problem to have, but it's a spring is going to be so vitally important to the future of LSU's quarterback room, because obviously we're in a transfer portal right now, the dates, and then you've got a second transfer portal swing in May. And how things shake out in spring will depend on who gets in that transfer portal at LSU. 256 Moxley, the transfer portal makes it where nearly every year you'll have a largely different team from one year to another. Exhausting. Absolutely. And I wonder if over a period of time where that number starts to look similar every year. You know, once coaches get used to the transfer portal, will the mix of high school players and transfer portal kids be similar in a program like LSU's from a year-to-year basis? You know, might there be an anomaly where you get 2 or 3 more transfer portal kids? Certainly, it's been a different deal for Brian Kelly early on because of what he inherited. But I wonder if, what that's going to look like as things progress. Right now, obviously, when you look at who they've offered, the kids are in the transfer portal from other schools, it's a slew of defensive linemen, a lot of edge rushers, another tight end. Obviously Denver Harris, Aaron Anderson we've been talking about. And so, is there maybe a center that they would look at? I think there's going to be a running back in the transfer portal at some point. So you start running the math on that, and where does LSU end up total between high school players and transfer portal signings? What is that, in the mid-30s? Do they get as high as 35? Chance Babin, Louisiana kids are undervalued in recruiting and highly regarded by the NFL. They are. Yeah, I saw that, Holden Lee. Heard we got to commit. Jordan Arson made a Tiger tweet. You guys, obviously I'm live right now, so if you see something on Denver Harris's Twitter come through, you guys alert me in a hurry, all right? Von Bluesman, hashtag Ask Mike, do you know what percentage of kids get signed out of the transfer portal and how many get left unsigned with no scholarship? I don't know that number, and that's going to vary from year to year. Look, this stuff is so new that, who is it really affecting? Initially the thought is that it's really hurting high school kids. It's taking some of the opportunities away from them. You also have the log jam from upperclassmen taking the free COVID year. There's so much disarray in college football right now with player personnel. And it's really coming down to which head coach has the best apparatus around him of player personnel directors and guys really crunching the numbers and work, knowing what each guy in their program is going to do, when they're going to do it, and really taking stock almost on a daily basis. And the programs that do that the best are going to be the ones that are going to be better long-term than the others. Palermo Trapani, Mike, on that running back in the portal, is that a current LSU running back or LSU knows over? No. I don't know if there's anyone in there yet. I just think down the line, I think that there would be a transfer running back that would be a part of LSU next year. No one in particular. I just think that with what's being lost, we're going to wait to see what happens with John Emery, what he plans to do. But I think along with Caleb Jackson and Trey Holly, I think you need a transfer portal running back. Will transfer portal rules be altered in the future? Maybe require student athletes to sit out a year on a transfer. I don't think that's going to be the change. I think there's going to be some tweaks. What those will be, I don't know. But the no consequences first-time transfer rule, I think that's here to stay. American Patriot with a super chat. Thank you, American Patriot. I saw that only 47.6% of players get picked in the portal. There you go. I believe that. A lot of guys thinking the grass is greener, and it's not. You get in that portal, you better have a darn good idea that somebody wants you. And I'm sure that has, a lot to do with the, is that 1AA kids, who are those kids that are getting in there and there's really not a high demand for them. Dane Bergeron, I'm scrolling back up. Rest in peace, Mike Leach. He made football fun, and his interviews were like no one else's. He will be greatly missed. Absolutely. It's sad. 61 years old, and I mean, heck, we always talk about how the SEC's with each new hire, how it's gotten tougher and tougher. There's some great coaches from top to bottom in the SEC. I mean, really, who is the bad coach? I mean, there's some coaches that might not have the wins and losses that they should have just because of where they're at, places where it's notoriously difficult to win. But even in those places, there's some, really good head football coaches. And I don't know, just the flavor that Mike Leach brought to the SEC, him and Lane Kiffin. You like having those personalities around, and anybody who ever had any dealings with Mike Leach absolutely loved and adored him. Trey Guy, Mike, I heard on Josh Pate's show that over 40% of the players in the portal last year did not land anywhere after entering the portal, did not play the following year. Kids need to be told that stat. I'm sure depending on the level of the program, maybe there's places in the Sun Belt, et cetera, where kids get in the portal. And if you're not starting at a school like, Arkansas State or Arkansas Little Rock, and you get in the portal, you could be putting yourself in harm's way and not have a place to land, thus losing a free education. Scooby 70611, nothing to do with how I feel about Daniels, but his return hurts quarterback development. No amount of practice can duplicate game play. Yeah, and I think, that's where, early last week, things were getting around, certainly after Besh got in the portal. Then there were rumors about Walker Howard. And, Walker, I know, had his meeting like all players did with Brian Kelly. And Brian Kelly, Joe Sloan, Denbrock, they had I don't think at any time in the last few months did they think that both Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier would be back. And so now I think they're both back. And so the quarterback deal, and of course, Nussmeier having the second half that he had, despite the two turnovers, is feeling pretty salty right now. And but I think if you're Joe Sloan and Brian Kelly, you probably are going to be working real hard to make sure that Walker Howard gets very similar reps with the twos, and in some of the scrimmages get an opportunity with the ones, because he was on the scout team all last year, and with LSU's roster as thin as it was, how do you can imagine what the scout team players look like that he was working with on a daily basis on a football field away from Sloan and the starters. And so that's where a guy like Walker Howard, gets antsy because he's already been there. He's already done those reps. And it's guys like that want their opportunity, a real opportunity to either win the job or win the number 2 job. And so I don't think anybody can expect Walker Howard to accept having less of an opportunity to win the job than Garrett Nussmeier. I'm sorry. Keith H. Mike, great show. You're working while Buddy is dating. There you go. Buddy might be eating some dining out tonight. At music, which NFL team drafts someone who is timid passing the ball? Hold on, guys. About this. Allergies acting up. All right. Palermo Trapani, Walker still be a three-year starter. If Jaden Daniels comes back, he needs to beat out Nuss in spring 24 for be the 24 quarterback and quarterback 1 in 24. Yeah, look, I don't think Daniels coming back is the issue for Walker. It's Nussmeier, or both of them being back, and then how that gets juggled. Man, looks like I need to take a Zyrtec. Yeah, Kevin Virtual, Walker deserves the chance to compete. 78-36 LSU, let's go. Palermo Trapani, I think Jack Besh is at a school like TCU, Tulane, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, etc. I think he would do darn well in any of those. And Man, I like Jack. I want him to go somewhere and be highly successful. Tyler Townsend says he thinks Walker should start in 23. Mac Daddy Dunk. Down here in Lafayette, rumors the Howard family have talked about transferring, and there is talk him and Besh could end up at U. Nah, and that is from Jamie. No, that's not happening. That's not true. And what's a UL, by the way? Louisville? All right, guys, I'm scrolling up. American Patriot with another super chat. Thank you so much. Derek Davis Jr. in the portal. I was hoping he stayed. Yeah, I think, look, man, he sees what's coming, man. You got two big-time running backs coming. If he was going to get a more of a look-see there, a defensive back, like I said earlier, look at this recruiting class. We're talking about, wink and nods tonight of Denver Harris. Toviano tomorrow. You got two big timers coming in this weekend for official visits. LSU's defensive back room is going to be unbelievable. All those guys, I think LSU is leading for. Kenny Haynes, hey Mike, jeans for tonight's show. No, I'm wearing some sweatpants, but guys, Kenny and I have been having the debates. Is it uncool for men over 50 to wear blue jeans? Let me have your answer. Should we only be wearing khakis or 5-pocket pants? Let me know. I say you can't wear blue jeans over 50. Music. The issue for Walker is probably being third string another year. Yeah. And being third string means you're not on the same practice field in practice. No quarterback is going to do that 2 years in a row. No former 5-star quarterback with his skills is going to do that 2 years in a row. Is Anderson coming to LSU? We're following it, Bill. I think he's going to be like multiple transfer portal kids that it's going to be bang, bang. You're not going to know when it's coming like some high school kids where it's getting teased. These kids are going to just put up something on their Twitter and you're going to know. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Blue jeans are rated E for everyone. Blue jeans, yes, over 50. Kenny, you're going to lose this one. Bill Ferrer, nope, wear them every day. Dane Bergeron, Kenny, Mike has his Sean Cassidy look on tonight. Uh-huh. Daniel Rummel, Besh would explode at Tulane, especially in that league, and it would keep him local. Fritz is a really good coach at Tulane. I think you guys have heard me talk about him on here before. He's a good dude. Out there every year when LSU has camp, and Brian Kelly kept that tradition of letting the state schools come to LSU camp, and he's one of the good guys out there and talking to people, and so there you go. Man, I don't know why you'd want to do that. TKS, I'm really praying that JD5 leaves. Scrolling down, guys. Tyler Azan, there's always that chance that Walker can beat Nuss out during the spring for next year and he becomes quarterback 2 behind JD. Then you may see Nuss transfer. And look, if that's the way it pans out, fine. Let's just say hypothetical Jay Daniels is the number one guy. I think if it's a clear-cut deal that he's the number one out of spring, that he has a phenomenal spring camp, and he is the number one guy just by performance, whether the coaches say it or not, kids know who's doing a good job. Then it's who's number two. But the problem for Nussmeier is he's a year older. You know, he's getting to the point now where he needs to be playing somewhere next year. The clock is running on him. So there you go. But then you also get into that deal where if you don't get in the portal now, you know, who would he find? Which quarterback at LSU that would hit the portal would have a place to go in May that would be acceptable to him that needs a quarterback? And of course, you know, we've seen in the past where colleges will go through spring football and none of their quarterbacks perform well and they get in a panic and they go get somebody in the portal after the fact. Or maybe a team has a catastrophic injury to a quarterback in spring. You know, typically not from being hit because they're off limits, but crazy things happen. Freak injuries, just like Mason Smith. Jeff Garman, yep, if Jaden Daniels gets a little better as a passer, he will be great. Call me Larry. How did Tackett Curtis get out of the state? Did you see him in the dome? Amazing. Yeah, he was a top performer in the dome. And, of course, Manny is a state champion. And, look, it's that goes back to Ed Orgeron's staff and Tackett and his uncle getting mad at LSU because of how late they offered and didn't ever come to camp, didn't want to compete at camp, which to me is always a red flag for me. You guys have heard me talk about that. If you're not going to come to camp and work and show what you can do amongst other top shelf kids, that's a red flag for me. And I'm not saying that because I think Tackett isn't a good football player, but you know, coaches want to see you. Barry Barbier, Walker Howard will be a very good quarterback for LSU. I think he could be. No way in hell Daniels returns without knowing the job is his. No way those around him allow that chance of ruining his pro chances if he stood on the sideline. Mel Kiper has him, fifth a few days ago? How many more guys need to come out of the woodwork like that and say stuff similar to that to make him second guess his decision? He's still got time. As of now, I believe he's coming back. And that's what all the hubbub was about last week with the rumors of Walker Howard, because Garrett's feeling it after his second half performance. And you guys know all season long I was saying Daniels is gone. People getting mad at me explaining why he needed to come back, and now they want to explain why he should go. Can't have it both ways. Bill Ferrer, any scoop on the Denver Harris meeting? Well, sure looks like it's gone. Looks like it went pretty good. Looks like it went pretty well. If JD got his 10,000 throws in during the summer like Joe Burrow did, it will be on opening day. Yeah, and that's something you need to realize. He got arrived at LSU a few days before spring football, and what will an entire offseason do for him? You know what his deficiencies are. And at the same time, after you say that, you have to realize he was absolutely the runaway MVP of this football team that did a lot more than everybody thought they would. A team that was picked fifth in the West. Went and played in Atlanta. He's listed number 8 by Mel. I thought there was another one this week that had him 5. I thought 8 was the old one. Jeff Garman, Mike Detillier thinks everyone who wants Jaden Daniels 5 to leave is nuts. Brian Kelly's job is to win as many games as he can every year. And I think Jaden Daniels gives you the opportunity to win the most games next year. Ray Davis, that is a myth. The amount of that they test you can pop positive from secondhand smoke. So it's true you can get positive from secondhand, or you can't. Rick says, yes, you can wear jeans over 50. I'm 70. Man, this was a landslide, Kenny. You're outnumbered like 30-1. American Patriot. There are 96 quarterbacks in the portal right now. Thanks for that super chat, American Patriot. JD5 for the Heisman in 23. Hey, Mike, why does the electric quarterback have 0 offers? I'm not sure. There's been a few kids this year that I was shocked by either the lack of offers in Louisiana or the quality of the offers. I thought David Jones at Madison Prep was one of those kids. Ethan Fields, I thought, was like that most of the year. And then the Ole Miss offer came, yesterday? And there you go. Palermo Trapani, LSU was with Florida State in game 1. I want an experienced guy with 40-plus starts in that game. LSU goes to Little Nicky Saban land next year. Jane Daniels has shown he can beat Little Nicky Sabans. That's the thought. You can go from having a fully loaded quarterback room to things, kind of put you in a little harm's way if the wrong or right people go in different directions with that portal after spring football. I'll just say that. Keith H., I went to school at Butch Dewey and I'm wearing jeans. This is fun. Okay. Yeah. This is some good stuff. All right, guys. It's that time of the night. I want to talk about Alumni Hall. They're obviously right here in Perkins Row. And where you're going to go to knock out your holiday shopping? Alumni Hall. All of my friends and family are LSU fans, so it's easy to get something for every single person on my list there. They have the best apparel for the family, hats, drinkware, wall art, you name it. They've got it. Plus, they have lots of specialty merchandise. They've got the high-end polo shirts. And LSU students, faculty, and military receive a 10% off in the store. You can earn cash back with their Hall Pass reward program. Go check out Alumni Hall in Perkins Row or shop anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, the ultimate LSU Tiger shopping experience. And I'm telling you, it's an absolutely beautiful store, loaded out. And, of course, right there in Perkins Row. And Perkins Row overall is real festive right now. Now we've got some cold weather to go with it. And so go check out Alumni Hall. That's if you can't find the LSU gear you need at Alumni Hall, you're not going to find it anywhere. Particularly the really good stuff, the upper end stuff that there's some quality that's not gonna look like crap if you put it in the dryer a couple of times. Music, JD will be on a short leash, so he better not slip up if he comes back. There you go. Fine Bluesman. Mike, Billy Gibbons' ZZ Top is 72 years old. Blue Jean Blues song. Please listen to the song. If Billy says it's cool, it's cool. Well, look, I mean, Billy Gibbons is 72. I think Kenny's right there. Probably graduated a year or so after him, or maybe I think they went to high school together. Billy and Kenny, they're about the same. So if Billy's wearing it, why can't Kenny? I don't know. Jeff Garman, yes, again, Butte neighbors, etc. We really want the ball next year. Got to throw it to them. You just don't want to get into that same deal where you talk about it and you look at the NFL rosters and all the great wide receivers from LSU and the NFL, and you're like, but they've never really had prolific offenses throwing the ball other than the Burrow year, and and a few others here and there. Mettenberger obviously put up some numbers, but look at what's coming in to go along with these guys. Shelton Sampson, Kyle Parker, Kai Preen. Man, you've got a wide receiver haul, Jaylen Brown, out of this world. And then we're talking about Aaron Anderson possibly. Jaden Daniels better start letting go of the ball and getting on the same page and doing all the extra work, like y'all said earlier. Do an entire offseason that mimics what Joe Burrow did in the spring of 2019. All right, let's see. Guys, hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. Please share it to your social media. And very much so, please hit the subscription button and the notification bell. We're about to hit 17,000 subscribers here on the TigerBait YouTube channel. I will have Kim Mulkey video post-game up in a little bit, so be on the lookout for that. And I've got several more things. Signing day next week. This setup that I've got right here is partly what I've been getting ready. I plan on going live multiple times on signing day just to pop in here and mingle and talk about the day and where it's at so far, who LSU's waiting on. So we'll be doing that on signing day right here. So that's why you need to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, because there's going to be no set time. I'm just going to say I got an opportunity. I got 10 minutes. I'm going to pop in. So if you have that notification bell rolling, you'll get the alert. Bill Frere, absolutely. Aaron Anderson for punt returns. He's fantastic. Von Bluesman, Mike, I think LSU's offensive line with more experience will be stronger this upcoming year, and the quarterback, whoever, will have more time to throw. Absolutely. How stout is that offensive line going to be next year with two freshmen All-American with more experience and bigger and stronger? We're going to see how this plays out in the spring. Kieran Patel asks, if Jaden stays, will Nuss or Howard leave? I think you're all good. Let's see how it plays out in the spring. Barry Barbier, Nick Saban will enter the transfer portal next year. Yeah, I wonder how much all this stuff that we're talking about, transfer portals, NILs. Look at some of the players for Alabama, really good players that hit the transfer portal. That's just got to be driving him nuts. It's driving any coach nuts. But a guy like him who, he's got to fight a lot more than he's ever had to right now. And so, yeah. And how much is that if Kirby Smart gets another national championship 2 in a row? What might that be doing to him? Does it make him more competitive? Does it all just snowball into one big reason for him to say, you know what, I've had enough of this? $88-42, Coach Kim looked great as usual. I always like seeing you say look great. I don't know if you're talking about the team or was she wearing some sort of sequin jacket tonight. I always love seeing what she had on for the games. Those are always fun. You know that what was the jacket with the hearts that she had last year that everybody was talking about and we were having fun with? I think she got like $3,500 at an auction for that. I just saw LSU offered a monster defensive tackle in the portal for next year. That's Paris Shand from Arizona. Got the defensive end from Oregon, Swinson that got offered, Stewart from Coastal Carolina, Fiske from Western Michigan, the tight end Morlock from Shorter University, and more. So, but you can see, what did I just list? 5 defensive linemen. Kane got to start bringing in some high 4 and 5-star defensive linemen. Every time I look up, Georgia or Alabama is signing one of them. Get Mason Smith back. You got Wingo, a third-team AP All-American. We're going to wait to see what happens with Jaquel and Roy. But yeah, but I do like the Wingo type of defensive tackles. How many of the 6'2", 6'1", 300-pound guys, do you need in that the way that LSU stacks their defensive line? Got a couple of kids in Louisiana for the class of 24 defensive linemen that have offers or had got them last year. And I kind of wonder if those are takes, to be honest, with what I saw. So I think they're going to need to go out of state to get an epic, true inside nose guard type, squatty body. And I say squatty body because I laugh, Wingo, not only is he a great kid and a superb football player, when he played more reps than any other player in NCAA football this year. But what is he, 5'10", really? 5'10", 5'11"? I mean, he's fun to watch. Jeff Garman, they say Wingo's motor does not stop. Frazier's back for 2 years, so LSU has 3 good guards, Bradford, Frazier, Deli. What does Fitzgerald West do? Does he go back to the offensive line? How does that get handled? That's another question probably for Brian Kelly on Saturday when we get him. Because you use these December practices like a spring, like a second spring football for the first week or two. And really, LSU's got an opportunity with a lot of kids that didn't come close to using the 4 games to keep their red shirt. That Citrus Bowl is an opportunity to really, see some kids and give them some experience and get excited for the spring. But you absolutely want to win this football game, no doubt about it. You don't want to lose 3 straight, and you want to get that 10th win. Luke's correct. I think LSU will have another great season. This next season will be full of great development and a strong team. I like that avatar of Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow versus Tom Brady this weekend. Loving the feng shui. Mike Buddy got a hot day tonight. Appears as though Coach Kelly may be keeping both coordinators at least for another season. Good news unless someone decides to poach House. Yeah, I had this whole thing staged. I was messaging some BFFs and, how does this look? I didn't want a between two ferns type of thing back there. Getting it all dialed in just right. You do these YouTube shows, man. You gotta try and get it right. Larry Francis, I love the transfer portal. It gives these young players the opportunity to get on the field and on other teams. No more stacking players for little Nicky and Bama. I tell you what, man, if this Denver Harris thing happens and the way it's trending, and Aaron Anderson, I mean, you're already that's home run city, just those guys. And there's more. LSU is absolutely back to being that it school, that sexy school that was, the envy of everybody in 2019 before the bottom fell out and then COVID and 2020, 21. With Brian Kelly at the helm and this staff and player personnel, the Arsenals, Belton, Sherman Wilson, Bobby, they're doing fantastic work there at LSU right now. All right, guys, hit the like button, share, and we'll see you guys on the other side. And go to TigerBait, subscribe. We really want to have you as a part of our TigerBait website. You can try us out for $1. If you got here through TigerBait, You can choose the annual package, less money. You get basically in 3 months versus going monthly. We really want to have you as a part of our TigerBait community. We've got a lot more recruiting coming your way. Like I said, tomorrow I've got someone that's going to be live at Toviano's announcement at noon. And like I said earlier on the show, I've added a prediction to LSU for him for weeks now, probably almost a month and a half or 2 months. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the other side. Good night.